The hum of the starship thrusters was the only sound that accompanied me as I stared out of the viewport at the blue and green swirl of Earth. After months, no, years of deep space assignments, distant planets, and missions I could hardly believe existed, home was finally within reach. The familiar continents, oceans, and clouds looked impossibly fragile from space, and I felt a rush of relief and longing. I was ready to step back into a world I had left behind, a world where life was predictable, where I could finally rest. And then I felt it, a shiver that wasn't from the cold of space, but from something far more unsettling. "Captain," my communications officer murmured, voice tight with concern. "We're receiving a transmission. It's not from Earth." A chill ran down my spine as the holographic console blinked to life. There she was, an alien figure so imposing I nearly leaned back in my seat. She radiated authority, elegance, and something I couldn't quite name. Her armor gleamed with an unearthly light, etched with symbols that seemed to shift as I looked at them. It was her eyes, though piercing, aware, and unreadably intelligent, that froze me in place. "I've been waiting for you," she said, voice smooth and commanding, vibrating through the ship's communication system. "Do not attempt to land on Earth. You will not reach it without my permission." I gritted my teeth. "Alien Queen, I'm not here to fight you. I'm returning to Earth. That's all." Her smile was faint, almost amused, but the weight of her presence was undeniable. "You think you are free to return to your tiny planet after everything we've shared, everything you've done for me?" For a moment, I stared, trying to process her words. Shared? Done for her? My mind flicked back to the last mission, our last encounter. I had saved her life on a world deep in the Kala cluster, a desperate rescue no one else dared attempt. She had called it a strategic retreat for her forces, but in truth, I had prevented her capture by rival factions. I had expected thanks, maybe a formal acknowledgement, but this was something else entirely. "Queen Althara," I said cautiously. "I did what anyone would have done. That was the end of it." "No," she said sharply. Her expression darkened. "It was not the end. You belong with me, not among the weak humans who scurry on their blue planet. You do not yet understand, Captain, what it means to save a queen of my lineage." I felt the anger rise inside me. "You can't stop me from returning home. I have obligations, family, duty, Earth depends on me." She leaned closer to the camera, her presence filling the room despite being light years away. "Earth will wait. You will not. Your path is not your own. I decide." I clenched my fists, pacing the small cabin of the starship. I had faced alien mercenaries, warlords, and even hostile planetary governments. I had survived shipwrecks in asteroid fields, ambushes on moons I'd never heard of, and radiation storms that should have ended me. And yet here I was, stymied not by firepower or strategy, but by an alien queen who considered my freedom a personal affront. "I don't understand," I said finally, voice tight with frustration. "Why me? Why now?" Her eyes softened slightly, and for a moment I thought I caught something almost human in her gaze. "Because you are the one who crossed boundaries others feared. You looked past the armor, past the titles, past the war. You saw me as I am. And now, I will not let you leave me." I felt a twinge of realization, a mix of awe and exasperation. She was not just a ruler, she was a being who had known betrayal, conquest, and solitude in ways no human could imagine. And yet, somehow, I had been the one to reach her, to show her that she could be seen, even among enemies and allies alike. "You can't just hold me here," I said. "I have to return. Lives are at stake. Earth needs me." "You will stay," she replied, her tone absolute. "And in staying, you will understand what it means to be bound to me not by chains, not by force, but by choice. Your actions saved me once. Now it is my turn to decide where you belong. I sank into the captain's chair, stunned. Every scenario I had run through in my head had involved diplomacy, negotiation, maybe even a skirmish to break through her blockade, but never this. Never that she would confront me not with weapons, but with sheer will and an expectation I could not ignore. Choice? I asked, voice low. You just said you're stopping me. That's not a choice. Her lips curved in a small, almost imperceptible smile. Choice is complicated, Captain. Sometimes, it is easier to guide someone toward what they truly want. I saved your life as much as you saved mine. Do you not feel it, even now? I stared at the holographic image of her, and yes, I did feel it. That connection, that bond, forged in desperation and battle, in moments where neither of us knew if we would survive, it was undeniable. It had been there for months, lingering under the surface of every communication, every mission we had shared. I trailed off, unsure how to respond. My thoughts turned to Earth, to the family and friends I had not seen in years, to the quiet streets and green parks that had once seemed endless. But alongside that longing was the memory of her eyes, of her voice, the weight of her trust in me. I will not leave you, she said softly, almost pleading now. Not yet. Not until you understand. You were meant for more than returning to your homeworld. You were meant for me. And I am not complete without you by my side. I leaned back, trying to process it. She was not just stopping me, she was revealing a vulnerability I had not expected. A queen, used to command, to unquestioned loyalty, exposing a need, a desire, a demand for my presence that was both terrifying and irresistible. I've been a soldier, a captain, a mechanic, a scavenger, I said quietly. I've survived countless dangers. And now you expect me to stay because you want me? Yes, she said simply. And not just because I want you, Captain. Because you have become part of my life, part of the empire you saved. You have seen me as I am, and now I ask you to see yourself as part of something greater. Something we can build together. I thought of the Earth waiting for me, and then I thought of her. The queen who had risked everything, whose trust and life had once been in my hands. The queen whose path and mine had intertwined in ways that no human world could offer. You're insane, I whispered, a mix of frustration and disbelief. Do you realize what you're asking? And yet, she said, her voice low and commanding, you are considering it. Not out of obligation, but because part of you knows it is right. I sat there, the ship humming beneath me, staring at the stars beyond. For the first time in months, maybe years, I felt the weight of a true decision, not one dictated by duty, by orders, or by survival, but one dictated by heart, by bond, by a connection I had never anticipated. Finally, I spoke, my voice steady, determined. All right. I stay. But not because you command me, not because you saved me, I stay because I choose to. Because you saved me in a way I didn't understand until now. And if I leave, I lose more than just distance from Earth. I lose a part of myself. Her eyes softened, and the tension that had gripped the ship seemed to lift, replaced by something almost tender. Then you are truly mine, she said. And I will not hide you from the Empire, from the stars, from your world. We will be seen together, Captain. Not as prisoner and queen, but as equals, as partners. I nodded, finally understanding the depth of her power, not in weapons, not in armies, but in trust and influence, in the ability to bind someone through connection rather than chains. Earth could wait. The stars could wait. Even the galaxy's empires could wait. For the first time in my life, I understood what it meant to choose a path that was mine, yet shared with another. And as the starship hummed forward, turning from the orbit of Earth toward the unknown expanse of her empire, I realized something I hadn't expected. I wasn't trapped. I was free in a way that no human could understand, free in a way that only the bond between a human and an alien queen could grant. The stars stretched before us, infinite and waiting, and I knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, whatever battles or betrayals, whatever joys or heartbreaks, I would face them together. With her. Not as a prisoner, not as a guest, but as something greater. Earth was waiting, yes. But she was my world now, and I would not turn away.